Hello and good evening. Welcome to another Tilda Center workshop. We are gonna continue off on our journey of creating a blog, and today we are gonna talk about roles. We're gonna see the functionality of Freenit that's gonna enable us to work with roles, create them. We will see how to use them in our code. So yeah, that's about it for today. We will see now. The idea of roles is if you have a website and you have a different set of users that's gonna be using that site. Maybe not all the users you have will need access to every part of your website. Of course, if you think about our blog, for example, and we have multiple users that are gonna create blog posts. Now we have some creators, let's call it creators, that they can create blog posts and edit them and stuff like that. We have our moderators that will have access to delete other people's blog posts if they have some I don't know, bad words or something. So we can have multiple levels of users that have different access and different usability of the website. Maybe even have access to certain pages. Only for example, moderators can add, change roles of other users, or admins can add new moderators and stuff like that. So you can see how if you have a website, you can have use for the roles. So yeah, that's what we are gonna be doing today. We are gonna take a look how because Freenit already implemented those roles. I mean, implemented the functionality of roles. It's up to us to create them and to give them their meaning, basically. Now let's take a look what this means. If you scroll a little bit down, I already have the project running, and I already have the project running. So I got the Swagger running, and when we go to our URL, you can see here in the Swagger, we already have roles inside. The same as we have the authentication stuff and profile stuff, we have roles. And here we have our blogs, our APIs for the blog stuff we are doing. Now this thing is already implemented, so we're not gonna write any code. Freenit already did that for us. What we are going to do is take a look how does this look. Now before this workshop started, I took the liberty of creating a new user and having it enabled, so we can having it confirmed, so we can test the functionality of multiple users and how one user can be in a role, another can't, and we can see how that will work. And if I go here, we have a functionality of listing the roles, and I go execute, and okay, we are not authorized. Let's log in with our default user that we are always using for everything. Okay, admin, and we said this is the password, and go execute. Okay, we are logged in. Let's go back to our roles. Now by default, if I don't write anything here, I know I didn't mention this before. If I don't write anything inside the pagination, these entries, it will go. I mean, default is the thing I always wrote, page 0 and per page 10. But yeah, so you can just click execute. It's kind of easier. Now if you see here, we have a role that has a description, that has name role blog create, it has its own ID, and it has some users added. This is the ID of our admin user. I'm gonna ignore this role. This is just, if in your case, this will be an empty empty JSON. This I created only for the testing, and I didn't bother of deleting it. So what I did, I will show you in a second. This is the create role, and if I go to, we'll skip this for now. If we take a look in get role details, same logic as we did in our blog. We can list all blogs, or we can get one role details or one blog detail, and that's what we're doing here. We give a parameter ID of our role, go execute, and if you take a look here, we have our role, that role block create, and we can see the foreign key that we got, the user that's inside that role, that's been assigned to that role. So what else can we do? We can go and edit a role. We choose role ID, we change the description and the string. Not that important. I mean, it is important. It's not for this purpose, for this workshop, it's not that important. We can delete a role, we can assign user to a role, or we can remove user from our role. Now if I go delete, and I go here, I want to delete role 1, and here I have deleted our role. If I didn't have anything, I wouldn't be able to delete anything. Now this is what would look like for you. There's nothing in there now, so there's no current roles. We deleted the only one we had. Now before I start creating roles and everything, let's talk about what we are going to do with it. Now Freenit has a functionality, because how we can create roles, that's perfect, but how are we going to use them? Now there's a logic inside the Freenit that gives us a descriptor like called every and one. We can actually take a look at the source code. Maybe it will be easier for you to understand. I will explain it. So we go Freenit framework and go backend. I think that's the URL. Yes, wait, right? And let's go inside Freenit, and there is the file decorators.py. Decorators, not descriptors, I'm sorry. So as you can see, there is every and there is one. Those are our decorators that we are gonna be using to manage our roles and to give, well, basically give limited rights to different functionalities of our website. Now, what's the difference between these two? If we take a look at one decorator, if you think about it, well, not think about it, we can check. Every user can have multiple roles. I mean, if you have an admin to a page, he can also be a moderator, and he can also be a creator of the blogs. So nothing's stopping him to be part of every of those roles. And if we want to, or some roles can have well, that shouldn't happen if you think about your app correctly, but some roles can have overlapping of functionality. So yeah, in best case scenario, you shouldn't have overlapping of functionality. That's why you have roles, and you can have multiple of them and assign one user to multiple roles. So one role is what is the best case scenario. What is the best written code, I guess, is that one role should be assigned to one functionality, one thing you want to do. You can assign them based on admin, moderator, and stuff like that, what I just mentioned, or you can assign them specifically, okay, creating of blog posts, editing blog posts and stuff like that. And then you can have when you create a user, and you can have him automatically added to some roles. Like, you can create and edit your own blog posts, and you can't edit or delete other people's blog posts. You can then have a part of your website that can admin can add other roles to the user. So let's get back to this thing. What one does is it goes through the list of roles that user has. It gets the user, and it gets the list of all roles, and once it finds one role inside the users that we want, because what we do here is pass the roles we want, that we pass a list of roles that we want the user to have to actually use that functionality, and if it has any one of them inside, it will work. So basically, if we take a look at this code, okay, it gets the roles, the list of roles, and for every role inside that list, it checks if there is a role inside the roles we got from the user. If it does the function that we added the decorator to. If there is none, then we abort. Yeah, so basically we only need to match one role to the user roles, and it will work. But what every does, it does the similar thing, only if only one role is missing from the list inside the list of user roles. Basically what it does, it compares them. If one role is missing, we get access denied, and if everything is okay, then we get our function working. So you can see it's opposite of itself, I guess. It is opposite in a way. One needs just any role, and the other needs every match to happen before the functionality works. And again, if there is one role missing, not in the user roles, then we go abort, message denied. That's what we are gonna do today. And now let's start. And okay, we don't have roles. Okay, and let's go and create a role. I'm doing this logged in as our admin. I'm not even sure if other users that are not admins can create. I mean, we can check that right now, because I have other user that I didn't assign him as admin. And wait, let me do something like this. Let's first log out. Okay, and let's try and log in as our other user. I named him test@example.com, and the password is string because I'm lazy. And let's go execute. Okay, we are logged in as our different user. If we take a look here, just a second, get user details, and let's go with ID 2. We can see that admin is false. Now let's see, I'm just wondering whether we can create a role as non-admin user. So let's call it blog create role, because this role I want to assign for our functionality of creating a blog posts. And let's call it a name of blog create, and go execute. Oh, okay, even non-admin user can create a role. We can in our app implement it differently. I mean, we can by ourselves forbid users to create a role if we don't want anyone to create a role by using roles. So yeah, okay, let's go back to our user, just so we don't, to our default user, just so we don't think about whether we have admin rights or not, and go execute. Okay, I'm back as, I believe I'm back as yeah, I am back as our admin user. So we have created a role. Let's list it. Yeah, we have blog create role, blog create with ID 1. That's the only role we have in our app currently. And we can do the same if we go get role details. We can see that we have, okay, this is interesting because we have assigned our user before. I have deleted the role, but it was still assigned to a role. Now when we created it again with the same ID, it just works and he's already inside the role. So remember, before removing the role, remove the user from roles. If we go like this and remove it, cool, now we have no users inside our role. And let's go get role details. Now it should be like this. This is the expected result for you. And what we are going to do is now assign user to a role. Basically we just deleted it and now we are assigning. Let's go with role ID 1, and here we need to send a JSON that's gonna be ID, and let's put our second user because we had admin user in the role. Now let's put our second test at example.com and go execute. Now we got ID 1. What did I write? ID 2. Let's go and get role details. Let's see what we got here. Okay, good. We got our test at example.com and in users that are active for this role. That's cool. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, currently at this point with our current tab setup, it doesn't mean very much. We have another string that says another list in our user that says, okay, you're part of this roles, but in functionality of our app that doesn't mean very much. Now what we can do, I'm back in our code and we can go inside the API and of course our blog.py. Now I said I want to use this role as a restriction for create blog posts. So what's our next step? Of course we need to import from Freenit /decorators import one and every. I think it is one and every. Let's check, just every and one. Yeah, I want to be sure. Okay, we import that and okay, that's cool. Now what we do here is before the dev post where we put all our decorators, we want to, for example, one that's gonna be, what's the name of our role? Let's go list roles and we have blog create. Okay, just a second. We need to pass a list. So this is the correct syntax that we need because we can have multiple roles here. We only created one for now and that's it. Now we save that and let's see if everything compiles correctly. Yes, it does. So I go back here and let's go one reload just in case. Now I want to first of all log out as our current user. I'm not sure which user am I logged in, so I don't, because I'm jumping up and down. I want to go here and go here, log in as our admin. Okay, wait, wrong password, I'm sorry. We go execute and cool, we have that. Now if you think about it, let me just go back here, there's kind of makes no sense of using a role if you don't require your user to be logged in, because then you can't even get the user roles. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Now if I take a look here and go get user details, I want details for our current logged in user admin, and he has no roles as you can see here. And why is that important? To see our functionality. So we said we added a decorator for our create blog posts. let's see what's gonna happen if we try here, try to create a blog, a content, let's go something, publish true, and again I need an image, so let's go, can I do something like this? No, it's quite easier to go, I like using the tilde center image as, did I copy image location? Yes. And let's go paste here. Cool. So I'm gonna just copy and paste all this text, so I don't need to edit it later. So go execute. Okay, I did create a interesting. Did I save this? Yes, I did. Let's go again. Oh, okay. I know what's wrong and why I flipped. If you take a look at this line specifically, admin can do everything. So let me just change a little bit. Okay, this was a silly move from me. Okay, let's go remove user from role. Let's go role ID and user ID 2. I want to remove our non-admin user from role because we want to see the ability to not create a blog post. So we have removed it, and now let's log in as our non-admin user, because admin is obviously admin and he doesn't care about roles. He can do everything. No, I believe I clicked this. Let's try it out and go test at example.com. Did we log in? Yes, we did log in. Now if I go down there, because now let's list our user that we are logged in as, just to show that there are no roles currently assigned to him. As you can see, it's ID 2, test at example.com, and let's go to I wanna minimize this, and let's do this again. We go try it out, and let's try to create a blog too, and go execute. Now if you take a look here, this is what should happen. This is, it's not the error we are unauthorized, it's the error access denied, because we don't have the one role we expect to have for our user. If you take a look here, it passed through every role. In our case it's just one, and it didn't find the match, so we got this 403 access denied, and that's quite the thing we got here. So let's try and add our user to a role, assign user to a role. Let's add it back. Role ID is 1, and the ID is 2 of our user, and go execute. Okay, now if we try and get user details, let's see if we did everything correctly. Yes, we did, because now we have some roles. Actually, we have one role, block create, and that's assigned to our user. One interesting thing I talked about foreign key before in this workshop, and you can see, you can jump here from listing roles that has users in it, and listing users that has assigned roles. You can see how that the backlog I talked about, was it backlog? Let's just jump quickly to see. the not here. It is in model and block py, the backgraph, not backlog, I'm sorry. The backgraph, how it actually works, where you can see when we get our user, and we can get all the roles assigned to user, or we can get the role and get the user that is assigned to it. Let me go back to our API, and yeah, this is the code. Let's come back here. So we see we have our user assigned here, and now let's create a blog post. Before we couldn't create it. Now let's do exactly the same entry that we had when we couldn't create it, and go execute. And now, as you can see, because we are part of the role, our blog is created. So that's the functionality of one, I'm sorry. And let's see the functionality of every. Now for every, let's go and add that for, I don't know, let's see for I don't know, get blog details. It's quite okay. We go every. Now what we can do, actually no, I'm gonna, yeah, okay. For every, again, we can send a list of one role and two and stuff like that, or because it will be hard to, especially if you repeat the roles, it would be hard to have them function like that. Let's go, and first, before we do anything, we need a second role to check whether every makes sense and it works for our code. And okay, let's create a role, and I'm gonna reuse the same role we are using, even though it's called create a blog post, just to show the functionality and how it works. And you can name your roles accordingly when you are actually doing some programming. So description is second role, and get details. I like having no spaces in name. I don't think that's a must. I mean, it's not, but I like having no spaces in name because it looks better to me, I guess. There's no specific reason for it. So we have our get details role. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna add another role list. We can call it get details roles, and I'm gonna do something like this. Oops, not that. Get details, and we need also a blog create. I almost put semicolon there. Okay. So get details roles, we have created a list that we are gonna go into the every we wrote, and go, instead of writing a list of roles, I'm gonna go get details roles and do something like this. And this is quite the same functionality. Now why I did that? Well, think about it. If we need, especially if we use these values multiple times and multiple functions, it is easier, and when we need to edit or add a new role that needs to be checked, then we can just edit it here, not go through every part of our code and edit it. Okay, I'm gonna save this, and let's go back to our, okay, it reloaded, yeah, everything works fine for now. And okay, so what we did, we have our two roles now, and let's see, we have a user with ID 1, no, the one user that, okay, well, let's not complicate this output. Let's check our user. let's list all our users, because I'm not sure how much readable will it be, but we will see. Okay, we have our admin that has no roles. Cool. And it's admin, so it's not that useful for testing of roles because he can do anything. And we have our test.example that has one role currently, and that is blog create. We have 2 roles, and we didn't add him to the second role because we want to see how it's gonna work. Now, if I go here and go get blog details, remember I'm logged in as, oh okay, I don't know this log. I am logged in as test user. Let's grab some slug for some blog. Okay, here is the first blog. That's quite cool. Cool. I copy that and get blog details, try it out. Execute. Now, for one, unauthorized. Let me just see, is that my mistake or am I not logged in? Oh, okay, I know what we are missing here. Let's just move this because as I mentioned, you need to have you need to be logged in to get the roles. So okay, let's try and edit, because it already has this. I'm trying to have, I don't want to edit the part where we had one decorator, because I want this to stay inside the code so we can actually use it and have it on GitHub, and so it can be seen by other people that are not watching this. Okay, let's see if everything compiled. Yes, it did. And let's go again. Just in case, let's refresh our access token. And I didn't see the response. Okay, it's good. And back to the blocks. We said we changed it to edit. Let's make double check so we don't make any more mistakes. So yeah, it is edit blog post. So we are gonna go here and add the slug that is first blog as far as I remember, and let's have it edited first blog, and I wanna have it here, and I need again an image that is here. And if we go execute, okay, now this is good thing. I copied this so we don't need to write it again. Now this is expected behavior. Now why? If you think about it, we said this expects only one of the roles, and this expects every in the list of roles we want. If we take a look at our code, where is it? Okay, here, get details roles. Let me just do this. No. Okay. This is the code I'm just having here, so it's easier to look. But this is the actual. This is how it looks without using the variable. It's a little more readable. I'm using this for the sakes of future editing. Now, let me go back to here. If we take a look, our user has let me go and get user details and user 2. He has only one role assigned to it, blog create, and that worked in the last time. And we can also see, we will see in a second how that works with one, but we expect 2 roles here, so we can't edit the blog post without having him in both roles. What am I gonna do now to test that functionality is go into roles and assign user to role, and go role ID is now 2 and the user ID is 2 again, because this is the second user we are gonna add to. So we added him to the second row. Perfect. If we now go down to our edit blog post, we want to edit the first blog, and go edit here and did this. Okay, I copied something, so it makes no sense. Why? Ah, come on, I'm too lazy. Let's go like this. I just want the Swagger to autofill stuff for me because I don't want to write them down manually. And we go to edit blog post, perfect, and go try it out and go here, edit blog post. And we need here our image URL. Perfect. Go execute. And if you see now, we have edited our blog, edited our blog post. We got status 200. Now, why is that? Because of course our user is part of both roles we expect. If we go to get blog details and go first blog, we see that, wait, did I edit that? The title didn't, okay. Which blog post did I edit? Let's try it again. Oh, I didn't add. I'm not sure. Let me do this again. Edited blog content is another content. I'm doing this again because obviously I missed something when I click execute and go execute. We have 200 content, another content, edited blog. Now you take a look here, we didn't add the functionality for slug to be updated, but that's quite okay. Now get blog details. Hopefully this will now show another content and the title is edited blog. Okay, obviously last time I didn't put in the slug value, so it failed and I wasn't checking properly. What I want to show now, to cover all the possible cases, we showed how we need to be a part of both roles, how we need to be part of one role and how that works. What we want to do now is see first remove user from our second role. So he is user ID and role ID, in this case is this. We removed it. Now that role has no users anymore, and that's what we want. And we go get user details just to make sure. As you see, it's better to make sure than to make mistakes. And okay, cool. I have only one part of our list of roles, and that is the blog create. What I want to do here is, instead of having let me just jump like this, instead of having, wait a second, this is unneeded, this is just part of the code that I want to remove, like that. So this is nice and readable. That was just part of me showing, and I want one not to be only one role. I want it also to be a list of get details roles. Now what we expect is get details roles and blog create, and we need at least one of these two for our functionality to work. Now we go and save this and check if everything compiled correctly. Okay, everything did. We go back here, and that is the create blog post. So let me refresh access token just in case, so I don't worry about it. And we have only, let me show that again, get user details. We have only one we have only one role, and that is blog create. And when we go to create our blog post, only one role. Let's get okay, copy image location and go here. And if I go execute now, as you can see, we have created a blog post with ID 7. That is one role. And why did that work? Well, because our user doesn't have to be part of both of these roles. It has to be part of only one, and it is part of get details. That is what we wanted. So yeah, that's about it for today. We showed how to work with roles. We showed how to edit, how to create, how to apply that roles to a function. Now, if you want to test this, you're gonna need a non-admin user, and that's a small thing I want to mention, that if you register a new user, it needs not user password reset. It needs to be confirmed using token. What I did is registered a new user, then manually logged into database and changed its flag that it is confirmed, so I don't need to bother with that. If you want, we can show it next time, but yeah, that's about it. It is a functionality that works, but it's not set up. Maybe we will talk about it in future workshops. For now, for today, that is it. And I wanna remind you, we are Tilda Center. We give lectures on a lot of stuff. It doesn't have to be IT related. Mostly it is. It is something about computers or programming, 3D modeling, a lot of stuff. You can check our YouTube channel. But we are not only online community. We used to have a place where we hanged out, and we are hoping for it to be relived again. Now, in these current times, we can't afford it. So what we had to do is open a Patreon. And we would love for you, if you have some money to spare. It would mean a lot to us. We want to get back to our apartment. We want to have a whiteboard, and we now know how to provide better education for everyone. So yeah, if you can, we will be much happy. So thank you very much, and see you next week.